and welcome back to TV7 Live, where we get to give you all the hottest and top trending topics, broadcasting live and direct from Zimbabwe, Africa. Now, what is happening in the nation of Mozambique and what is happening in Zimbabwe? We're hearing the news that the ZiG is back again on the lowest post, being the weakest currency in the world. Now, if this is the case, this is very disturbing what we are seeing happening here. Big up to Lillian Mark watching us live. And we are also seeing another SADC country joining the wave of what is happening in SADC. This time it is Malawi. We see this one here, dated 15 November 2024. Violence against peaceful protesters is an outrageous assault on democracy. Former presidents demand immediate action. This is in Malawi. Big up to Wolfgang watching us live. It's written, we unequivocally condemn the violent and unlawful actions that erupted on 13 November 2024 in Lilongwe. This brutality against peaceful demonstrators who were rightfully protesting the chaotic registration process for the 2025 general elections represents a grave assault on democracy. Such acts are not only unacceptable but also a direct affront to the principles of justice and order that our nation stands for. Our Republican Constitution, international treaties and agreements under United Nations and the African Union and the SADC all provide for regular, free and fair elections that are conducted with integrity by an independent electoral commission. They also provide for the respect for the rule of law, popular participation, equality before the law and human rights, including freedom of expression. Big up to Dumisani Ngungu, Tau, Bonade, Timothy Makufo watching us live. So we're seeing this one here is coming from the nation of Malawi. There's been a violence in Malawi, the registration process as they are registering these elections. Then we see in the land of Mozambique what's been happening in Mozambique. We're seeing this one. This one is shocking here. South African journalist Bongazi Siziba and Sibonelo Mkasibe of News Central ATV detained in Mozambique. Press freedom under attack. We're seeing journalists detained there in Mozambique. Then we see this one here. This one would be a video, but they are speaking in Portuguese. This young woman is explaining how the police killed her 20-year-old brother yesterday, 14 November, at home in Maputo. She is saying, my brother was at home in the store frying potatoes when I had two shots. I told my mother, but she thought it was fireworks. The shots intensified when her brother was trying to close the other side of the store. He was shot in the abdomen inside the store at home, she described. Now that's very sad. So that is the lady there whose brother, 20-year-old, was shot yesterday inside a shop. Then we see this one, Mozambique post-election violence and repression must stop. That is a United Nations expert saying this on the issue of violence that is happening in the nation of Mozambique. Very sad scenes that we're seeing coming there. Big up to Timothy Makufa, Dumisani Ngungu, Tau, Bonadi, everybody who is watching us live right about now. So we're seeing trouble over the happenings in Mozambique. What is about to happen next? Mozambique crisis tops agenda as SADC heads of state convene amid regional unrest. The spotlight will be on Mozambique this Saturday as leaders from the Southern African Development SADC gather in Harare to discuss pressing issues including contested elections in Mozambique, which have sent ripples through the region. Daniel Chapo, representing Mozambique's long-ruling Frelimo party, was declared winner of 9 October elections with 71% of the vote. However, the opposition candidate Venancio Mondlane, beckoned by the optimistic People from the Development of Mozambique, Podemos, has fiercely contested the results, citing irregularities, border disruptions, and trade concerns. Mondlane's protests have escalated into widespread disruptions, including the closure of key border points with South Africa, Mozambique's largest regional trading partner. This has also affected Zimbabwe's critical trade route to the sea, with traffic to Malawi disrupted as well. New members who wish to receive... Okay. If the protests persist, they threaten to destabilize trade across the region, creating economic challenges for multiple nations. Now, this is very good because everybody will be pushed to deal with this Mozambique issue. Zimbabwe's position. Zimbabwe, as the current SADC chair, has shown little inclination to back Mondlane. President Emerson Mnangagwa congratulated Chapo on his landslide victory, aligning with the official SADC assessment that the elections were orderly, divided regional stances. South Africa, another significant player, according to News 24, has echoed Zimbabwe's position, while Angola, the only Lusophone nation in SADC besides Mozambique, has reportedly backed Frelimo. In contrast, Zambia's president Hakainde Hichilema and Botswana's newly elected president Duma Boko are expected to advocate for deeper scrutiny of the election results. Hichilema, known for his independent stance, previously stirred controversy by endorsing a SADC observer mission's critical report on Zimbabwe's 2023 elections. Similarly, Boko, who ended Botswana's decades-long Botswana Democratic Party rule, has expressed solidarity with opposition movements across the region. Neutral voices and the role of the frontline states leaders such as Lazarus Chakwera of Malawi and Felix Tshisekedi of the DRC are seemed as more neutral, with no clear stances on Mozambique yet. Meanwhile, the so-called frontline states of Angola, Tanzania, and Zimbabwe with liberation movement histories are expected to back Frelimo as they seek to protect legacy alliances. Implications for SADC unity. The gathering in Harare highlights the growing divide between the old guard of the revolutionary parties and a new wave of reformist leaders. Balancing these competing interests will be key as SADC seeks to maintain unity while addressing political and economic stability in Mozambique and beyond. How the bloc will navigate these challenges and reach consensus remains to be seen, but the decisions made in Harare could have long-term implications for regional stability and cooperation. Big up to everybody who is watching us live right about now. Enough respect to Colin Msipa, says I'm watching from Alberton, South Africa. XNXO says Madi Doc hapana zovangaita wejira. Gibson Mutando Waziri say Hondo 1. Enough respect, says Dr. Clarence. Teach man says ku Mozambique now kwa square kuchinakidza wangu. Masoja ekumoza anga achitoimba pamwe one povo. Idia Budene Frelimo. Ray Bushu watching from Cape Town there. Enough respect to everybody who is watching us live right about now. So we are seeing this Mozambique situation reaching another level following the victory of Botswana's new president, and we're talking about Duma Boko. And again, yesterday we saw the Namibian elections beginning, and again a liberation movement is under fire in Namibia. However, the situation for Namibia, for it to be more favorable to the opposition should have had an alliance and fielded one candidate. Still, the ruling party, for it to get above 50%, it's a long try that we're gonna see happening there in the nation of Namibia. Only time will tell what happens next. Now, in Zimbabwe, we're seeing massive load shedding, and load shedding is now going up to more than 24 hours Right now, I'm broadcasting using my phone because there is no electricity. I didn't charge my batteries when there was sun in the afternoon. So there is no electricity. It's now over 24 hours without electricity. Now, what is happening with the ZIG in Zimbabwe? What is happening with the ZIG? Okay, we're going to talk about the ZIG right about now. Now imagine this, thinking you have invested in a solar system, only discover that you have been duped. It is a fake solar system. It is happening in Zimbabwe. We have seen various stories on the media covering this. Fake solar panels flood local markets. That an article by the Newsday there, and we see another one by the Zim Papers Herald reading, fake solar products slow down solar revolution. So yes, it happens. How can you stay safe from this? Can you identify a fake solar panel? Back in the days, you could identify fake products just by their prices. But these days, they will rip you off. The issue of fake solar panels in Zimbabwe has become increasingly prevalent, driven by a surge in demand for solar energy solutions amid ongoing power shortages in Zimbabwe. As more households and businesses are turning to solar power, counterfeit products have flooded the markets, posing a significant risk to consumers. Now, the only risk these fake solar panels bring is not only the risk of financial loss, but actual loss to other properties also. Some of the losses include they do not work in low light conditions. The sun has to be full for these fake solar panels to be working. Poor performances. Usually the performance is very poor as per specifications, and these solar panels usually come with incorrect specifications. It is either incorrect specifications or whatever they said specification, but the capacity of operation is below standard. There is increased risk of fire hazard. Poor materials may cause significant heat that may cause fire hazard. Premature system failure. The system may fail entirely. Increased maintenance cost, and usually fake solar panels have no warrant. Now this is why you should always buy your solar systems from credible distributors who distribute original products and who offer a warranty. In Zimbabwe, one such distributor is Sona Solar Zimbabwe. The details are showing on the screen right there, or you can visit them on their website sonasolar.co.zw. sonasolar.co.zw. Get a solar system that actually works. Do not pay for stress. Big up to Mkoma Ino, Pasmo Hobo Ray Bushu, watching us live. Ujanyiriri wanyanya, gawa vipashigaro, kana vajgiwa. That is Pasmo Hobo. Mkoma Ino says, good evening family, good evening there Mr. Pasmo. Now, RBZ interbank rate, RBZ interbank exchange rate as ZIG reclaims top spot as world's weakest currency. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe has released the latest figures on the interbank exchange rates as well as prices for gold coins and digital tokens. Meanwhile, the Zimbabwe gold ZIG has reclaimed top spot from previous position as the world's weakest currency. According to American economic analyst Professor Steve Hank's currency watch list, Zimbabwe's inflation is the highest at 1,265 per year. This week's top 5 inflators, number 1 is Zimbabwe at 1,265% per year. Number 2 is South Sudan at 367 per year. Now the difference, 367 against 1,265. Imagine the difference between number 1 and number 2. And number 3 is Sudan at 156% per year. Number 4 is Nigeria at 111 per year. Number 5, Myanmar at 75% per year. New members who wish to, okay. Now Hanky has linked Zimbabwe's inflation to the growth in money without corresponding production. Zimbabwe's money supply is soaring at 253% per year, Professor Hanky noted recently. Apparently, external influences in the form of changes in crude oil prices, the South African Rand United States dollar exchange rate, and the CPI for South Africa are also being viewed as the main factors currently explaining inflation dynamics in Zimbabwe. Imagine now Zimbabwe's ZiG is the weakest currency. This is a very, very sad and disturbing what we are seeing happening there. And again, we see another news headline: Energy Minister reveals frightening decline in electricity generation in Zimbabwe. And we're seeing increased load shedding in Zimbabwe. Increased load shedding in Zimbabwe. Imagine 24 hours plus load shedding in the nation of Zimbabwe. Now this is a very, very, very much disturbing Zimbabweans should brace for extended load shedding as the country's electricity supply falters due to failing infrastructure at Hwange Thermal Power Station and critically low water levels at Kariba Dam. Reported site. Many households are experiencing blackouts lasting over 18 hours and in some cases up to 24 hours, crippling businesses and halting productivity. In the National Assembly on Wednesday, Energy and Power Development Minister Edgar Moyo attributed the worsening crisis to dysfunction at Zimbabwe's key power generation facilities. This comes after MP Engineer Leslie Mangwa, who claims the Energy Portfolio Committee questioned Moyo about the growing power shortages, despite typically higher winter generation levels, which are now leading to more than 24 hours of continuous load shedding in some areas, said Mangwa. From the statistics from Zimbabwe Power Company, currently, we are generating almost the same power we were generating in winter. In winter, we had shorter load shedding with high usage from winter and the winter wheat crop. Yet now, we are having more than 24 hours of load shedding. Is there a crisis that has not been notified to the people, or it's a new government policy that has changed? Moyo, however, disputed Mangwa's assessment, presenting recent figures to illustrate the steep decline in electricity production. He said that the power that we were generating in winter is not the same as the power being generated now. Currently at Hwange, 7 and 8 are running at full throttle and generating 640 megawatts. At Hwange, stages 1 and 2 during winter were at a peak of 420 megawatts. Now we are doing 260 megawatts, and as a result of the breakdown of other units, we are generating power using just 3 units. In Kariba, during that time, we were able to do up to 300 megawatts. Now we are only down to 100 megawatts. We were allocated 8.4 billion cubic meters of water for Lake Kariba for this use, but this year, at the same point, we had to get up to 500 megawatts from Kariba to meet a high demand. This has significantly reduced water levels, and we are now left with about 1 billion cubic liters of water, which can generate 100 megawatts up to the end of the year. Mangwa praised the minister about inconsistencies in power generation statistics, pointing out that on certain days, power exceeded 1,100 megawatts, yet load shedding still occurred. He said on 4 August 2024, we generated 1.128 megawatts. In September 2024, we generated 917. And on 29 August 2024, we generated 1.1. Today, we are supposed to have generated 1.128. But we are always off today than we were. Generating less. Something is inaccurate there, Honorable Minister. Moyo explained that daily power fluctuations are due to solar power, which varies with weather conditions. On sunny days, solar systems generate maximum powers. But on overcast or partly cloudy days, they generate less, said Moyo. Some of the power that is being referred to comes from solar, and solar by its nature is intermittent. In terms of the power generated every day, you may find that you may vacillate between 20 and 70 megawatts depending on the climate conditions on that day. Now we are seeing ZESA extending load shedding to more than 24 hours, and this is very, very disturbing, happening in Zimbabwe. Takanange pinenyika. Big up to Mkoma Ino watching from Durban. Anyways, that was it for now. Enough respect to everybody who was watching us live. Lillian Mark, Wolfgang, Chafu, Bonadi, Dumisani Ngungu, Timothy Makufa, Tau, Bonadi, Colin Msipa, XNXO, Gibson, Mutandwa, Wondo One, Teach, Mana, Ray Bushu, Pasmo, Hondo, Mkoma Ino, and everybody who was watching us live. Enough respect. Thank you guys for watching TV7 Live, and thank you for your support. Dr. Clarence, TV7, I'm out.